And we're back. Hello.
And we're back. We're back. I'm having problems here. Hold on.
Uh-oh. What happened? Oh. What's funny is when Schuler takes his glasses off, it's like he just disappears. It's like it's just a blank head.
What?
Nothing, boss. Nothing, boss.
So like part of the reason that I'm not set up yet is because I have this very exact nook of space in which my desk will fit, except it won't fit. I've got to cut 8 inches off of this one side of my desk. Man, when I get my shit done, it's gonna be like professional.
Let me give you some advice.
Please.
With your desk.
Yes.
You say the desk won't fit in there, and you're gonna cut off part of the desk?
Yes.
See, such a rookie mistake. Folks, allow me to educate Schuler. Okay, Schuler, no, it's so much easier to destroy the wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just make the wall bigger.
I had considered.
That way you don't have to fuck up your desk. Just start pounding.
I don't need this.
And your desk will slide right in.
Yeah, I don't need any of
that. No.
You're right.
You just need a sledgehammer.
On the bottom floor of a 3-story structure, if you just start knocking out walls, what's the worst that can happen?
I need to put my CDs here, folks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your baby. Is this the basement that you're in right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
so this is your spot, your cave.
This is my spot that I've been given, man. That kind woman. We had to leave the other woman immured in the ceiling of our old apartment.
Someone else will move in.
Yeah, somebody else will take. She comes with the pro.
Hold on now. I don't want to abandon this premise.
Long story short, right? My wife and I kept a concubine sealed inside of our ceiling beneath the overhead pool in our previous apartment,
which we've discussed.
And we moved and we left the concubine there.
Okay,
so, let's talk about death metal.
Well, this is funny though, because last time I referenced Flowers in the Attic, which was what you were doing to her then, and now what you're doing is a different movie. That would be Bad Ronald. Someone's going to move into that house, not know she lives up in the attic, and they're going to think the house is haunted, a la Bad Ronald. Okay, now moving on.
I haven't seen Bad Ronald. Is that a horror movie we should discuss?
No, well, it's
called Bad Ronald?
Yeah, it's his nickname.
Dude.
He kills a kid by accident.
We found it. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. For a while now, I've been trying to figure out some sort of musical project that you and I could start together.
Talk to me.
We need a 2-man fucking death grind, like guttural death grind slam project called fucking Bad Ronald.
I hear your noise, my brother. I hear your noise.
You smell what I'm cooking.
And I smell what you're cooking.
What I'm putting down.
The Crypticus smells what you're cooking, dog. Today's best in death metal. Stay with us.
Stay right here.
Megatrends and Brutality.
We'll be right back.
After dark.
You motherfuckers.
By the way, I don't like what you're doing to me right now.
What's that?
You're showing me your microphone's butthole. See, hold it up there. See,
no,
you keep showing me your microphone's butthole, and that is very disrespectful.
100% on purpose. Listen, it's not disrespectful, all right? You just don't understand the microphone culture. See, here's the way it is.
Would you like to see mine?
Would you listen? Listen to me, all right? This is very important. When microphones are babies, right, before they know how to shit, their mother microphone comes and licks their little microphone assholes, right? And when she does that, that lets them know that it's time to poop. Occasionally, your microphone will present its butthole to you. Now, that's like a sign of love and trust, right?
Your wife can hear every goddamn word of this microphone butthole talk.
I know she can.
Uh-oh, we have a guest.
We have a guest.
Oh, shit.
Good to see you.
Yeah, we don't live in a problem. My key got these in my hand. I can't. He's sitting in the living room. I keep thinking about. I was like listening to a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I know what this motherfucker is saying about me when I'm not around because I keep hearing. And then I'm like, oh, God damn it. And I say all that to say I forgot why I came down here now. You were talking shit.
What she should have done is just ignored me, right? Because now that I know that she can hear me, obviously.
You mean when she met you?
When she met me.
You mean initially? I wanted to mention this is going to be a huge disappointment and sadness to our viewers, but I'm afraid that for the third time in history, and I'm not kidding, for the third time in about 10 years, I did wash her. I washed my baby. So she's clean now. Let me tell you, the rinse that came off this thing was like some deep dark tea. It was years of whatever.
That's years of love. That's what it was.
Sure.
A very well loved kill.
Yeah.
It's like the shreds of material that they found in the fucking remnants of the Donner Party, just like all fucking soaked up different bodily fluids and like been used at their to their greatest utility. Donner Party in my pants.
Well, when I die and, I vaporize like Yoda, which is what's going to happen, and I achieve my full form, this kilt will be left behind like the Shroud of Turin with a perfect impression of my genitals on it.
When you become death metal.
Well, when we go to join death metal. All right. So that I just wanted to let you know it actually smells good now, and very nice. Good for now.
I am currently writing an article about Roadrunner remixes from the 1990s, and sort of I'm writing a counter history of electronic music's influence on death metal if more people had picked up on remix style music than on harsh noise.
Nice. And this isn't even counting all your work trying to recover Chris Barnes on the side too.
No, that is abandoned.
Oh, you finally abandoned that project?
There's no recovering Chris Barnes. Like, I've still got all that shit that I wrote, and I've got the stuff that I tracked down, and I'll keep it, and I'll probably end up using it for something.
For some reason, I'm picturing just charts on the wall. Like here's a cross section of Chris Barnes, okay, and there's just strings of yarn tied to tacks,
Yeah.
Anyway, how about we start the show now?
You want some death metal?
It's been
talk about death metal.
It's been an hour. Well, you did mention Suffocation earlier. Were you going somewhere with that?
I'm just reveling in your love of Suffocation. I know that you said seeing you tweeting about trying to learn to play Suffocation songs and then remixing Suffocation songs and albums and playing around with it and stuff like that. And it's just really cool to see somebody who you like get into some shit that you like.
Interesting. I appreciate that.
Hoping that you would gush. Go ahead and gush about Terrance Hobbs.
There's just so much there for me to learn as a musician. I can listen to Terrance's playing forever, and just the way he writes things is so fucking challenging. So it's really difficult, masterful stuff. Powerfully detailed, like classical music. To me, Terrance writes so many tremendously classical and sophisticated melodies that are so flowery and like Baroque and shit. So I study his work the way like Salieri was studying Amadeus. I'm like, what the fuck? How did he come up with this shit?
Yeah. It's definitely a weird playing style. At this point, so many bands have been influenced by Suffocation on such a broad scale, it's really hard to pinpoint in a lot of
Yes, his style, I have a theory. I think he is one of the two. Well, I don't even know if it's a theory. It might just be a fact. I don't know. I kind of think that maybe Terrance invented brutal death metal guitar style. I can't think of the way that Mike invented the brutal death metal drumming style.
Drumming, yeah. Imagine that, man. It's almost like we owe two black musicians just about everything when it comes to this music that we love so much.
On Black History Month, let's talk about the two Black Kings of brutal death metal. And so many bands said, I'm going to play drums like Mike. I'm going to try to play guitar like Terrance. What do you think about that? Do you think, because I kind of think they may have influenced Cannibal Corpse.
So this is what I would say. I would say that Suffocation got more brutal and more technical faster than Cannibal Corpse
that's
did.
Kind of what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think Suffocation is and has been for a very long time a technical brutal death metal band.
For sure.
Pierce from Within to me is when Suffocation really became the Suffocation that we see now, even across a number of different lineup changes. Yeah. Because holy shit.
That's what defined their sound.
Breeding the Spawn, man. The production on Breeding the Spawn is so fucking terrible. And I know that everybody says that, but like to see them consistently re-recording those songs over the years, I think there's only like one or two left that they haven't re-recorded. You talk about Terrance's technicality, that's really interesting, and sort of what you see is this urge to like push it as technical as you can possibly get. I'm ready for the next Suffocation record. I
guess they've been working on it, but I don't know. They haven't released any details. But I don't know his name. That new dude they got on guitar who's very, very young. Terrance has said this is the only dude I've ever gotten who like can play everything I show him and more. And so that dude is like insanely good. Because let me tell you, it's a lot harder to learn someone else's weird shit than to just write your own crazy weird shit.
And that's, to me, one of the things that I know I mentioned this on the show a lot, but as they've progressed or whatever, you know, you would know this as a musician better than I would. I'm sure their music has become much more complex. But when you go back and you listen to like Blood Oath is an excellent example, Pinnacle of Bedlam is an excellent example. These are really technical songs that are so fucking catchy.
Mm-hmm.
Like As Grace Descends off Pinnacle of Bedlam. Like it's super catchy fucking song. I didn't like the production on that. Yeah, the second track off Blood Oath.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They do that shit. They don't just ever have parts like to just flow. They go dun 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 bum.
They're trying to fuck with you, man.
It's like classical music. That's kind of how their music feels to me. It's like this, all these digressions into little hallways and stuff. It's like you still haven't even moved forward. Like, motherfucker, we'll move forward when we're ready. Okay.
I didn't get into Suffocation until after they'd already broken up and come back. The first Suffocation record that I got was Souls to Deny. And that to me, like, and the thing is, like, I got Souls to Deny, and then I remember a friend of mine being like, man, this shit sucks now. They were the best fucking death metal band ever. This shit's stupid.
I love that album.
I was listening to it thinking like, man, but this is good though, you know?
Yeah, that album has really poor production, especially on Frank's vocals. They did some very, very poor choices on that album, but it's such a great album. It really is one of my favorites of theirs in terms of just the combination. That's one that I don't feel gets lost in technicality. It still has a lot of old school death metal feel to it.
Yeah, there's songwriting there. Like, and but the thing about Suffocation is I don't feel like, I do feel like it gets too technical for me sometimes, but I don't consider that being like lost in technicality.
The last two albums I just feel have been not heavy enough because they've been so focused on speed and technicality. I just want them to go back to more of that chunk and then go into the crazy neoclassical digressions. I can't comprehend it. It's like, it's not heavy anymore. It's just impressive. And so after a while, you get to this, it's kind of like that, that Zack Snyder Superman movie where he made everything so powerful and fast that it's like, well, I can't even see what's happening here. It's so much. Yeah. That's kind of how I felt about Of the Dark Light. I like kind of more the style of Pierce from Within. I like that kind of with a little more chunk to it. And I think we're going to get some of that on the new one, you know?
I hope so.
I have a theory that it's going to be really good, I think.
I have no doubt. It's just a question of when. So anytime you're ready, boys. Terrance, I know you watch the show.
Of course he does. He's a huge Crypticus fan. He loves how bad my guitar playing is. Terrance has said in interviews, this Crypticus guy, it's like, I've just never seen someone play so badly. And I just can't play that badly.
I really like his skills.
I've been listening to a lot of Crypticus, just analyzing how someone can play that sloppily, because I just can't accomplish it. So yeah, he's equally as fascinated with me.
I'm trying to dumb down my approach to guitar, so I'm listening to this other. The next Suffocation record is gonna sound like a fucking Crypticus record. It's gonna be insane.
Oh geez. So that's why I get pissed off at people that just go, that was dumb. Like, can you do it? Okay.
Yeah.
This has been said by smarter people than me. If you want to criticize a piece of art, make better art. I cannot criticize Suffocation. I can say what I like and don't like, but I can't criticize it because I cannot make anything that good.
Thanks, Terrance. Have a good one, man.
Happy Black History Month, Terrance.
Fucking publicity that we just gave you.
Happy Black History.
Terrance, where's my fucking money? Have you seen the shirt? Have you seen the shirt of him that's got his face on it? It doesn't even say Suffocation. It's just like a fucking cartoon picture of him smiling with with his Predator dreadlocks. It's fucking awesome, man. If we want to talk about some, Suffocation influence and then some other bands who are going into weird territory now, who I think are sort of bridging styles in a way that's really interesting. There is a band who dropped their debut record in 2019. It was one of my favorite records of the year. They just released their second record. It's a band called Nothingness, and the record is called Supraliminal. Are you familiar with this band?
A little closer, please.
It just looks like spaghetti.
Oh, yes. I have heard that, yes.
Dude, it's fucking weird. And it, again, is like the kind of music that's blending these styles that are really disparate, that have no business sounding this good together, because there are moments where it sounds like Suffocation, and then it goes into sounding like fucking Amon Amarth or Wolfheart.
Oh, so it goes very melodic.
Not necessarily melodic, but like I think it's the tuning, or maybe the guitar, the number of strings on the guitar. Like, are you that familiar with Amon Amarth?
Oh yeah. No, I've hung out with them. Yes.
So with Odin on Our Side.
Yeah, I love that album.
Record had a really distinctive. That's my favorite of theirs.
That's my favorite one as well. That's their pinnacle.
Bros, Yeah, but like the sound of the guitar, the tuning of the guitar on that record, like so often you hear that in Nothingness songs, and then they turn around and go into some crazy technical and progressive type shit. There's atmospheric stuff on here, there's black and death metal stuff on here, like just really a band who is jumping into a number of different subgenres and blending them so fucking seamlessly. I just think it's a really powerful record. I've been super impressed with it so far, but like I was really hoping that you would heard it, man. Let me rave about this right now then, so that you get a fire lit beneath you to check that out after we're done. Yeah, dude, it's really fucking good. I mean, no, that's like, that is...
Oh, that was your rave. Not good enough, not interesting. I'm going to go do some laundry and dishes. I'm not interested. Check out something.
I wasn't able to give you enough passion. Yeah, no, the cover of it looks like the pizza face guy from... Pizza the Hut.
Spaceballs?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's what it looks like. That's what I see. I don't think that's supposed to
is there a face in there somewhere? Or
yeah, I think there's a face.
Oh, there's
like a face in the top, I think. I don't know. Listen, Nothingness.
Tell them.
Boys, this album cover rocks. Last album cover, difficult.
What was the last one?
Nothing. It was nothing.
Literally.
So maybe it was a very good
Very challenging.
It was like red and black, and it was like hard. You couldn't see their logo on it at all. I think maybe it was like a cavern or something like this. But I think that they don't have like any particular imagery associated with them necessarily. And because the music is so multifaceted, I wonder if maybe that's a conscious choice.
Oh,
you know what I mean? As opposed to, doing a cover that's got like, gory death metal tropes, or doing a cover that's got like space stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
See, I dig those kind of covers like you showed there, because that are kind of more like impressionistic, because
a little psychedelic.
That reminds me of jazz album covers.
Oh, okay.
Everyone knows if you're looking for a good jazz album, it will have usually a cover that is just one weird expressionistic abstract painting, but it just shows you like, yep, that's what the jazz is going to be like. It's going to be chaotic and crazy and fun, and that's I think what you got there with that artwork. Segues be damned. I just have a window open that I'm looking at, so I'm just going to address it. Okay. I have a question. Were you ever into Avulsed?
Yeah. I got Stab Wound Orgasm.
Congratulations. Oh, the album.
Yeah, no, nobody. I did not achieve climax in a Stab Wound.
Got it. Oh,
you probably could have found a channel for that on Dalnet back in the day. I went back and sort of rediscovered Stab Wound Orgasm as, a 30-something-year-old dude who'd been into death metal for a really long fucking time, and enjoyed it a lot like I used to. It was less melodic than I remember. I seem to remember thinking it was more of a melodic death metal record. But I got to hear a couple of years ago Cybergore for the first time, and was just like, these are songs about like freeze-dried fish and Red Bull. Like, what the fuck is going on? It was a weird record, but like I still thought it was really interesting. I've heard plenty of Avulsed over the years, but like I couldn't tell you the titles of songs that I like, and I couldn't tell you what records they come from.
They were just so omnipresent on a lot of compilations and shit. And it turns out it's because the guy who runs the label, Dave Rodden, is the lead singer. And he also, he ran all the labels they've been on. He ran Repulse Records, remember them? Which were great. Like, holy shit, Repulse Records. I got so much shit through them in the black metal days. And shout out to Dave Rodden. But also, interestingly enough, when I started first putting out Crypticus stuff, everybody who, when I sent the demos to Razorback, all the feedback from everyone was like, oh man, you sound just like Avolst. Your vocals sound just like Dave's. I was like, no. And then specifically Terry from Excommunion, when he heard my demos at the time, he went, man, it sounds exactly like Stab Wound Orgasm. You need to listen to that album. And I listened to it and I went,
sounds exactly like you need to listen to it.
I don't think so at all. And so that's kind of how I started listening to him. I was like, I got to check this band out to see what the deal was. But yeah, the one I really liked when it came out, and I think is one that you would like, is Yearning for the Grotesque.
Okay.
Which is and sadly, these guys were truly pioneers of really, really shitty cover art.
Yeah.
Like just a legacy of embarrassing, horrible, bad cover art you don't want to look at. But like Yearning for the Grotesque is one of the somewhat less bad ones to look at. Now these days they have amazing cover art. Their most recent albums have amazing painted cover by good artists. So I'm happy to report that. But the whole reason I bring them up, like I said, is because this window is open, and this is a great opportunity for you. I wanted to mention to everyone out there is that Avulsed, through the official Avulsed Bandcamp, which is ran by Dave, he runs Extreme records these days. He has put all the Avulsed albums up there on digital for $1 a piece.
Oh fuck!
And they all have, and it's all of them from the beginning to now, and each one of them has a little thing at the bottom saying like, listen guys, here it is. You don't have to pirate our shit. Just toss us $1, have all our shit. That way you're contributing something to it. It's a good way for you to check them out. And then if you like one, then you go to the website, buy the album you like. So I went through and,
which is why I'll do that. Yeah. And for $1, you can't fucking beat that.
And I went through and cleaned up on them. I was like, oh yeah, I never actually owned this one. I got, several of them on CD, but all the newer ones, they even have a couple in the last 3 or 4 that were mixed and or mastered by Swano. So you might want to check those out. But yeah, their style, again, you tell me what you think. I disagree, but I used to, not now, but I used to get very heavily compared to them, especially my first album dedicated to the Impure. So I don't think so at all, but you tell me.
Well, let me go back through and listen.
All right, we'll sit here and wait.
It's going to be, let's have a quiet 8 hours or so while I review Avulst's entire discography.
I got a comic right here. I'll sit here and read a comic while you're...
Dude, I'm going to have to fire up fucking Stab Wound Orgasm.
But I'll tell you, check out that Yearning for the Grotesque. That one's kind of fun, and it made me think of early Hypocrisy. Like, it kind of sounds like Penetralia a little bit.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Not that brutal, kind of old school, and a little sloppy. So I don't expect, to be pounded.
No, and I'm listening to a little snippet of Stab Wound Orgasm from the title track right now, and like it's different. I would not immediately compare this to Crypticus.
Thank you. No offense, Dave. I just don't think. Especially the new shit now that's coming out. It's like way more brutal. Like I think we're in different territories now. Yeah, all right. I was curious about it especially because Christ Butcher from Excommunion said that. It's like, oh, okay, dude. I don't know if that's really a compliment coming from you, because he also on the side would go, yeah, I don't really like Avulsed. Hey, by the way, your band reminds me of Avolst. Okay, I'm going to try to keep those two comments separate from each other. Shout out, Terry.
Shout out to Terry, and also just shout out to Avolst for throwing us a fucking an electronic death metal record with some tracks called Frozen Beast, Addicted to Red Bull, Sweet Bacalotomy, Hash Perversions. I, for one, have been enjoying the Sanguisugabogg album.
Okay.
It's definitely, I think, a more interesting, I don't know, a more fun album than their last one. Their first one It does feel more like hardcore-y. It's a little bit more listenable in places than their last album was. Like the last one, I think they got really sort of shortchanged on that record because it was so weird. You and I have talked about this before. There was a lot of, it wasn't like a fucking tech death record. There was just a lot of stuff about genre conventions that they were sort of tweaking or sort of throwing out and just doing weird shit. But this record, I just feel like has got like, it's more of a fun record. I don't know how else to put it. Like all the stuff that you like about death metal that like makes you want to move, we are seeing here, and we are also seeing them sort of push their influences into new places. Like there's areas where these songs sound like fucking Meshuggah songs, like not because of their complexity, but because of the tone and because of sort of the way everything's coming together.
My policy. And that sucks because if beautiful digipack, all this stuff, if it had a cover art I want to look at, I would snap that up immediately. I can't pay for something that's going to annoy me every time I look at it. So.
They gambled on getting an album cover that would get people talking, and that's what they wanted. That's what they got. On the whole, I think that of the images that are included from these different collage pieces, the one they picked for the cover is easily the worst one. If you look at the ones on the inside, like some of this shit is actually, this one here has like Nashville pussy sort of high on fire vibes. You know what I mean?
Does.
Like I like that. Like you, I don't think it made for a very good album cover. However, you can't argue that it made for an effective album cover. It certainly did. An album cover is supposed to get people interested in the record, or at least get them talking about it and get other people interested in the record secondhand. That has worked, right?
Yep.
So, it's not my favorite record of 2023. Their first record was not my favorite record of 2021. But, like, I continue to enjoy the band. I continue to think that, like, as far as what influences they're bringing into this music, there's some pretty interesting stuff there.
Have you heard this Parasitario? that I was raving about, now other people are starting to pick up on. Again, see, there's a theme this week with me, I'm afraid, because I'm trying to highlight some things. I am kind of going for stuff that's mostly digital only right now, because if there are people that can just enjoy things until the physical is available, I think, and support it in the meantime. This is on the FDA Records Bandcamp, and so far I've been going crazy trying to find the CD. No CD yet. I think FDA Records is going to be selling it separately through their website, but I don't think it's out yet. Parasitario, Everything Belongs to Death, and you would think Parasitario, you would think perhaps Latin, but no, these folks are from Japan.
Okay.
And of course, like all good death metal bands from Japan, they've got that just a little twist of intestine ballism, just that little bit of but this stuff's way more rotten than intestine ballism. This is my number one death metal album of this year so far.
Nice.
But of course, the year has just started. Parasitario, Everything Belongs to Death on FDA Records.
Are you familiar with an Indonesian brutal death metal band called Demons Dam?
Oh no, I'd remember that name.
All right, they only got one record. I own the record, and I slapped a song on the new episode of Malpractice, which is going to air this coming Tuesday or Thursday. But it's an old record. The band is still together. Their band is still playing shows. I don't think they've released anything else, but like, it is a really fucking solid death metal record.
Extreme Souls production.
Yeah. Really, really catchy, really solid brutal death metal, and like I just feel when it comes to sort of Indonesian bands, if they are having a moment in the sun right now, I feel like this band, it would be great if this band and Brain Ass were part of that. I think the new Obituary record is on par with the last 3 that they've done. My Disappearing Hit.
Well, that's not encouraging at all. So it's like
I liked the self-title a lot. I like Inked in Blood. It was the 2 before that.
Frozen in Time.
No, Frozen in Time was good. That was on Roadrunner. Redneck Stomp is so fucking catchy.
So one of them
I'm talking about
one's
Darkest
just called
Day.
Obituary, I think.
No, that's the most recent one before this one.
Was
it's
it?
Good. I liked it. It was Darkest Day is one of them, and Executioner's Return.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Executioner's Return came out in 2007. Darkest Day came out in 2009. Those are, for me, the low point for Obituary. And the high point for me is World Demise. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That's my favorite Obituary record.
I can see that. I mean, it's not the death metaliest, but I mean, in terms of production and everything, that's literally the hugest album they have in terms of sound. It's crushing. Yes, man, it'll blow your fucking subwoofer out. Still, it is so well produced and heavy. So I can see you being into that one.
So knowing that is my favorite record, when I tell you that I like the last 3 records and that I feel that the latest one is on par with the last 3 records, contextualize those last 3 records that I like with the idea in mind that I like World Demise the most. And that should tell you a little bit more about how it sounds. But it's not...
I know the production isn't as good as on World Demise. There's no fucking way.
One thing that I don't get, though, is the cover art. I guess I'm just getting a little bit fucking cynical with the Lewandowski covers. Like, we've seen it. Like, let me see something else. I want to see something different.
Dare you have a fucking opinion, Schuler, in this day and age? Oh, fuck you! Fuck you!
I don't believe that the point of an opinion is to just let other people...
No. You're apologizing. Stop right there.
I'm not apologizing. I'm contextualizing. There's a difference between those two things.
Yeah, but I'm just going to cut that out, so just don't even try.
Okay. If you want to know everything you need to know about this record, right? Listen to the song The Wrong Time.
Their fucking song titles are hilarious to me.
And like the song is literally about him talking about having the right mindset, but it just be in the wrong time.
What is this, hate breed?
Dad says to you.
That's some hate breed.
That's when your dad says, listen, son, you're going about this all wrong. You got the right mindset, but it's just the wrong time. It's dad death metal. Like, they want to tell you they want to make you feel good. They want to teach you life lessons. It certainly beats pimping crypto and talking shit to people on Twitter. I feel like if you're going to be an old guy in this genre, that's a pretty good way to roll.
If we're grading on a curve, sure.
If we're grading on a steep fucking curve. If you go to Obituary wanting to see the kind of growth and challenge that you get from Cannibal Corpse, like that's a listener problem. That's not an Obituary problem. You gotta know what you're coming to this party for, man. If you didn't show up to eat fucking burnt steak, like, you need to bounce, because that's what's on the menu.
I need to make a list of the most hilarious Obituary song titles, because I don't just they're like the Solid State.
And then also this, which I was really disappointed didn't come when I wanted it to, because I really wanted to make this part of my end of the year post shit on Instagram, Gosudar Malignant Altar split. You are into these bands, yes?
I know Malignant Altar. I don't know the other one.
Gosudar, it's a Russian death doom duo, a little bit doomier in some places than I prefer my death doom to be. There's one 10-minute song on here that's a little bit doomier than I want my shit to be. Gosudar's record that came out, the last one, I guess their only one that came out, I liked a lot. But like the real jewel here for me is Malignant Altar.
They're great.
They're great, and
they broke up.
Like that's what's,
right?
I know this is their swan song, and so it was really cool to get that in the mail because I, number one, wanted to make sure that I had it. Now I got their entire output on cassette tape.
Well, if I may personally, and don't allow this to start a speech from you, please. But let us hope it is not their swan song, because
fair enough.
Yes, I really don't like that record.
I do want to let you know how good of friends we are, because normally the request to not launch into a speech would not be heeded, but I will grant that request this time. But no, it is not their swan song, but it is their swan song, and it is both the tracks that are on here are fucking killer. I hate that the band is gone. I thought that they, when they did do the doomy shit, they did it great. But a lot of the really fast, like churning, super low tuning shit on there, that first 3-song demo, dude, like that really, that came out right around the time that I started putting together everything for Death Drive 90.5. And like that was very much sort of the encapsulation of my excitement about not just this music that I've always had, but about finally getting this opportunity to really share and engage in multiple ways with people with this music. Like that was sort of that first Frozen Soul demo, that first Sanguisugabogg demo, the first Nothingness album, all that summer of 2019, spring of 2019 shit, will always have a special place in my heart. And so to see Malignant Altar go bums me out, but maybe we'll get a new Insect Warfare album. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. And then finally, the last thing that I got that I wanted to talk about that I actually haven't had the time to listen to all the way through yet because I am just way too busy in my life. You'll know once you see this how busy I am when I tell you that I haven't had time to listen to this yet. It's the new Insomnium album. It's called Anno 1696. This is the art book version with a second CD that also has an included EP on it, as well as a short story in both Finnish and English. Well, I guess it should be more dramatic. I can just sick this stuff off to the sides. Okay. So, first up. See, this is why I like having the fucking arm, man. I don't like not having a hand free here.
Yeah.
This is the new split from Chernabbog and Abyssal. Do you fuck with Chernabbog at all?
No, I don't know Chernabbog.
The way that I pronounce it, maybe you pronounce it differently. Tchornobog. It is.
No, that's how I would say it.
It is the project of one of the projects of Markov Soroka. Are you familiar with him? I'm trying to think of other bands that he does, but he's a multi-instrumentalist. He put out the Chernabbog record a couple of years ago, and it's just this harrowing, fucking horrifying record. It's like blackened, deafened, doom, psychedelic. Essentially, like as I understand it, this dude does like some legit like sweat lodge type shit, where like he goes out and he has like a spiritual trip or whatever, and then records the record. And
does he record it out there? I think crazy conditions.
I would have to check.
Maybe write it out there.
I think he writes it in that, because like the first Chernabbog record, I wish I could dig it up. I don't know where it is, but it came with one of the most impressive CD packagings that I've ever seen, and it was from I Voidhanger. There were 2 booklets in there, right? One of them was liner notes and stuff, and then the other one was like a journal. From the creation of the record, where like he's engaging with this primordial spirit of Chernabbog that's vomiting existence continuously. It's cool, man. It's really trippy, and like if you listen to it, it is terrifying. It's terrifying music. So when he put out this split, I was like, yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. The song is called The Vomiting Choir.
Nice.
But the guy put out a call for people to send in recordings of them puking, and he would.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So there's like a bunch of there's a bunch of crowdsourced puke noises on here.
Way.
Well, and the thing that fucked me up. But anyway, I just thought it was really cool. I thought it was a unique approach. So obviously, I pre-ordered the record when it came out to pre-order. But one of the options was, I think there were like 43 of them. Maybe there are less. But he offered, if you pre-ordered for it,
what the fuck?
A special visual representation created just for you.
What the fuck?
For the album. Each was handcrafted by hand, painstakingly, using materials meant to degrade over time. That being said, the piece is incredibly fragile. Do not attempt to open or consume the black libation wrapped in the middle of the painting, as the seal will spoil it as well as introduce potential unpleasantness. This has been a warning and disclaimer. I want everybody who's listening right now, every record label, okay? There needs to be an art book version of every single thing that you release. And I'll write the liner notes for it.
Yeah, see, putting it out there is going to make it happen. This one's a hugely influential album on me musically, especially the just the dark atmosphere of it and stuff. But nobody talks about Morgoth anymore, and I'm kind of curious if they've ever been anything to you, or if you have any experience with them, because they're a very important band to me.
I feel like they kind of torpedoed their legacy with some of the directions that they ended up going in later musically.
100%.
Yeah, like people don't like Morgoth because Morgoth started making a bunch of shit that sucked fucking dicks.
You're 100% right.
But Cursed is a fucking killer record, right? I own that one, and I have that 2-disc. It's like 1987 to 1997, the best of Morgoth.
This shit here was really, in my opinion, super classic early evil, death metal. Resurrection, Absurd, and Eternal Fall, which are, like I said, two separate releases, which were demos. They still have great production for the time and are full of atmosphere. Yeah, I really loved those guys, and I was really happy to find those on vinyl, but I, of course, have them on CD as well. Yeah, I was just curious. I'm sure after this episode comes out, a billion people will tell us what they think of Morgoth.
Hey, I did Cursed. Cursed was a one of the Elder Gods entries on Death Drive 90.5. Every week I would highlight like a classic record, and I put Cursed on there, and I've owned that record for a long time, and I enjoy the record. But like when I ended up, it was that best of CD was sort of the wild card for me. I just got it, I think, because it was. Typically on Discogs, when I buy something, I'll go through the rest of somebody's shit and just see if there's anything else cheap or whatever that they.
Yeah, I'm literally doing that.
I wonder if anybody else does something like that. But yeah, it was just one of the ones that was like $3 for a good condition 2-disc best of Morgoth, and I was like, well, fuck it, why not? And then I got it and I realized, like, yeah, there's a reason people don't like this band anymore. They did a lot of shit that sucks. But
yeah, so there's a whole on that best of. You can see the whole.
You can see the whole transition, the whole
right.
The whole,
okay.
the journey of Morgoth. But Mark Grew was on that third Comicon album. That's the one that sucked.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Mark Grew, man. No, not Converging Conspiracies. It was like called Creamy Lather or something fucking stupid.
What? Oh, I guess I don't know that one. Oh, are we gonna name our next show after that album?
Creamy Lather. Let me see.
Creamy Lather with Bruss and Benson.
That sounds bad, man. It sounds gross.
I know.
Yeah, man, it's bad news. But let me. Now we got to know. Now we got to talk about it.
Yeah. Mark Grew on the Comicon album.
Morgoth put out a record in 2015.
Yeah, it was solid. It was a really good comeback. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's
a single in 2021. I had no idea.
Well, their album Odium, which was that album. I really like that album, by the way. I don't know where you stand on that one. That's a really incredible industrial influenced death metal album. That's actually incredibly influenced by Killing Joke. And
I need to check it out further then.
It's amazing. There's a song on there called The Drowning Sun, which is fucking incredible. Actually, it's a really great album. But after that is when they changed their sound and got really, But anyway, when they came back with that comeback album you're talking about, they went back to the kind of sound of Odium. And so it's very good. I recommend that one too.
All right, I'll check it out.
Do you know who Skinner is? The artist Skinner? He's kind of he's done some stuff for Mastodon. I'm a huge fan of Skinner's art. Let me just give you an example of his style here. Of course, I love black and white stuff. He's kind of known as a horror artist / a metal artist. And he hangs out with Blake from the Workaholics. He's kind of a personality, and he makes these really cool videos. Skinner's an amazing artist, and he finally has decided to put out a horror comic called Skin Crawl, and it's fucking can you see the glisten?
Oh yeah, very nice, very lovely detail.
Yeah, his stuff is extremely horror oriented, just monsters and creatures. But this comes in both the standard black and white, which is very much like the old Tales from the Crypt comics, and then it comes in a full color edition, which is just like complete eye candy. And I had to buy both editions just because I couldn't stand to be without one or the other, and they both look so gorgeous in different ways. It's something that to me, this is just as beautiful and exciting as a vinyl or anything. And I can't get enough of it. So he's also just put out the second issue. But this I don't have to pull up right now, but one of my most prized possessions is I got one of Skinner's horror pop-up books, which you should look up. It's a Cthulhu pop-up book. It's a fucking masterpiece. It's like, it looks like a pop-up book that's like the Necronomicon, but when you open it up, it's literally like Cthulhu and all the different Lovecraftian monsters. I got a copy of that. Do you buy any comics, Schuler? Or you don't have time, do you?
I don't have time, man. I'm not opposed. So the last comics that I read were The Boys.
Okay.
That was in the early 2000s.
So what did you think of the show?
I'm really enjoying the show so far. Yeah.
So you didn't mind the changes?
No, I was a big Garth Ennis guy. Like I read his run on Punisher Max.
I was just gonna say I loved his Punisher shit.
So that was the Welcome Back Frank arc was where I noticed him.
Yes, I've got the trade paperback. Yeah,
I had it too. It was very comic-y. You know what I mean? Like you could tell it was
super gory.
He went dark, but also sort of silly and comic booky, and I guess that was what they needed to convince them to let him do Punisher Max. And then when he started doing that Max series, I was just like, every single one of these story arcs is just like a brilliantly written fucking action movie with incredible brutality. I absolutely loved it. And that was when I went back and got into Preacher and then got into The Boys.
Well, okay. Well, then real quick, what were your thoughts on the Preacher adaptation? Because that was very controversial as a show.
I saw the first 2 episodes and was like, I don't care.
So it just didn't work for you.
It wasn't interesting to me. And like, I don't ride or die so hard for the comic books that I was ready to watch it and be offended.
Oh, right.
I mean? I was ready to see where it went or whatever, but like I think we got 3 or 4 episodes in and we just lost interest. What did you think?
Well, I wasn't this is kind of maybe the opposite. I wasn't into the comic enough to care about the comic, so I enjoyed the show quite a bit as its own entity.
Interesting.
I recently put out that talk I had with Big Will from the Heavy Hole podcast. Shout out. They're awesome. Go check them out. But Big Will also had, he has I don't know how many fucking bands he has, but he's recently been in Reeking Aura. He's recently been, he's in Afterbirth, which I think is kind of his main band, but he's done this. I'm not sure who's in this, or, because it's so incestuous with his different project, but this is Exsanguinated, and it's only available as a tape, and it's a demo, but it is just incredibly atmospheric, cavernous, spooky in a way, but I don't know, it brings me atmospheres of dead trees and autumn and stuff, but it's not melodic in any way. Big Will, I don't know how familiar you are with his projects, but his vocals are so cavernous.
Inhuman.
Inhuman, yes.
Yeah, like I liked Artificial Brain, but the shit he's doing in Afterbirth, which Afterbirth is one of my favorite bands. It's brilliant.
I was way into that Reeking Aura that came out last year. That was in my top 10.
I liked it. I need to listen to it more.
Like I said, it's a very interesting pastoral death metal album while still being completely extreme. So it's like, I don't know how they did it, but this is quite a beautiful tape. It's like you said, with that other tape you showed me, it's got that beautiful print going on. This is with the logo that's completely illegible. Oh, but this is just a demo and it's this nice.
I meant to show you earlier when I was parading tapes while we're talking about tape art. The Malignant Altar Ghost Sudar split tape, absolutely beautiful. That fucking artwork on there, man.
Well, I like this. This is becoming a new thing because that's so much nicer. I really loved this. So shout out to those guys. I'm afraid this might be sold out, but have you heard this?
No, I haven't.
You'd really like the atmosphere of it. Very very cavernous and awesome. And then I did tell you already, but this is because of you and because of all your talk.
Let me think about it, whether or not I decide to accept the blame. Oh, I will take the blame.
Well, I chased this down. Yes, because I actually wasn't a fan of this band that much until you kept saying that's the album. That's the best tech death album, according to Schuler, is In Curso.
Yes.
Which, bro, it is...
Verdict?
Like astoundingly, like it's something that you can listen to 300 times. You're not going to catch everything. It's insane.
Let me tell you something, man. I've been listening to this record for over 10 years. I'm still getting new stuff from it every time I listen to it.
Yeah. Well, as someone who's kind of new to the album, just the fucking intro.
Yeah.
of the album can be dissected for like 3 months. It's so complicated and crazy.
It's Christian
like, how did anyone learn to play this? I can understand being brilliant enough to write it, but how can someone else go, oh, sure, I'll come in and learn that?
Well,
it would take the rest of my life to learn one of these songs. It's just, see, to me, it's on a level similar to Defeated Sanity, but in a very different style, very different way. Like, it doesn't seem to have the jazz influence that Defeated Sanity has, but that's the thing. It's a very odd, unique technicality.
Yes, that's the, there's not another record that sounds like it, right? There's more memorable stuff on Spawn of Possession's album in Curso, and I also feel like it is just a really unique lyrical approach that I enjoyed a lot, and I felt like it paired with that music really, really well, and with that artwork really, really well.
Folks, I want you to understand that, we love doing the show, but we're friends first, Schuler and I.
Right,
and so, we do a fuckload of talking that doesn't end up on here that we have to cut out because,
we're talking shit about you guys. If you want to, you don't want to see how the sausage made, baby. We hate you, motherfuckers. We talk about you constantly. We hate you, fucking people.
So after Schuler goes on his hate-filled just screeds and rants, I have to like cut them all out and make it look like we're having a fun talk for you guys. You're taking off, buddy. What are you gonna do right now?
Tonight we're gonna watch Panos Cosmatos' entry into Cabinet of Curiosity. The viewing, right before that, you know what we're gonna do.
Please tell us.
I'm gonna doink that you've ever with my wife. We're gonna do it together. And it's going to be incredible. And if this shit's and not you. So that's what we're going to do,
folks. I can't believe what I just heard. I cannot believe what you just unloaded here on the air.
Still waters run deep. You know, I'm a quiet guy. I've got a quiet reserve about me. I feel like a lot of people don't know where I stand on things with them. But now you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, you're silent but violent. Ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you actually taking time to check out the garbage I recommend to you. And I'm saying this to the audience as well. We're here first to have fun and talk to each other. But then if the stuff we talk about excites you guys, please check it out.
Yeah, man, we're here to talk about cool shit that we like, and it's cool because it's cool already, even without us. So listen to what we say and go check out shit. If you're out there right now and you're listening to Megatrends and Brutality and you're watching Megatrends and Brutality, I just want to make sure that you know that we want you to go and fuck yourself.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I have nothing to add to that. You couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. Bye, you mother.
We love you all.